According to Thumzup Media's filing and press release, the Nasdaq-listed company completed a $50 million secondary offering at $10 per share to fund crypto mining and expand a multi-asset treasury. The company said it will buy mining rigs and add assets such as XRP, BTC, ETH, SOL, LTC, USDC and Doge to its balance sheet. The move comes after Thumzup set an internal target to grow a digital asset pool to $250 million and authorized up to 90% of its liquid assets to be held in cryptocurrencies. Robert Steele, Thumzup CEO, called the raise a step toward a strategically managed digital asset treasury. According to the company, Coinbase Prime will remain custodian and prime broker for the new holdings. The firm also disclosed a Bitcoin-backed credit facility arranged with Coinbase Prime in May 2025 that is meant to provide flexible capital to support its treasury plan. This is a bold pivot for a publicly traded firm and will draw close scrutiny from investors and regulators alike. Based on reports, the $50 million proceeds will be split toward mining equipment purchases and direct crypto accumulation. Mining requires machines, space, and power, and Thumzup says it will deploy capital to expand operations. That's the part that could either add steady revenue if done well or become a heavy drain on cash if costs rise or market prices tumble. The company didn't give a detailed commissioning schedule in the initial release, so the timing of any meaningful hash rate increase remains unclear. Reports have disclosed a string of similar corporate moves in recent days. Vivid Power announced a partnership with Crypto.com for institutional custody. Meta Planet Inc. of Japan reported a 468% Bitcoin yield in the second quarter of 2025 after holding 113 BTC valued at $0.1 billion following a $61 million BTC purchase. Thumzup's actions sit squarely alongside these shifts as Bitcoin surged to a new all-time high. If cryptocurrency prices keep rising and margins in mining are still healthy, the plan could deliver very strong returns. But pooling as much as 90% of liquid assets into digital tokens will expose the company's balance sheet to sudden swings. The mining expansion will be a big-ticket item that needs to be executed with care. Given that the company is associated with U.S. President Donald Trump's family, the expansion will draw increased media and political scrutiny. 2 years ago, Estonian banker Rein Lomas told Estonia's public radio he had lost access to a massive stash of Ethereum bought from the 2014 presale. It's no secret that I have a wallet with 250,000 Ethereum units. Anyone can calculate for themselves what it's worth, Lomas said at the time. He said he would consider credible help to recover it. A specific address was later linked to him by Coinbase product director Connor Grogan, with Ethereum briefly topping $4,700 on Wednesday and surging back to its 2021 highs. Lomas lost holdings are now valued at roughly $1 billion, almost triple their worth back in October 2023, when Ethereum traded around $1,600. Lomas did not immediately respond to Decrypt's request for comment. Aside from a number of small transactions sending Ethereum, the wallet remains untouched. According to data from Arkham Intelligence, asked how it felt to lose his passwords and keys, Lomas recalled a small Bitcoin purchase he locked himself out of and used it to underline self-custody's weak points. I absolutely agree that this is a very weak point of the system, which makes you think that this perfect decentralization has other risks that you don't usually think about, he said at the time. But it's very common for me to lose passwords. I went to renew my ID card passwords today. If it were crypto, I'd be in a big crisis again. Many others have faced Lomas' predicament. Some have forgotten their passwords, while others have inadvertently discarded their hard drives. The phenomenon has become so common that, sometime in 2021, a reality TV show was launched for people looking for their lost crypto. Digital Currency Group has sued its subsidiary Genesis, claiming that the collapsed crypto lender has actually profited in the long term following its collapse and subsequent bailout. In a lawsuit filed Thursday, DCG said that the $1.1 billion loan it gave to Genesis in 2022 was ultimately more than enough to cover its losses. Crypto lender Genesis went bankrupt in 2023 as it had lent money to collapse crypto firm Three Arrows Capital and other firms during the bear market and crypto contagion that spread across the industry in 2022. Digital Currency Group has sued its subsidiary Genesis, claiming that the collapsed crypto lender has actually profited in the long term following its collapse and subsequent bailout. In a lawsuit filed Thursday, DCG said that the $1.1 billion loan it gave to Genesis in 2022 was ultimately more than enough to cover its losses. Crypto lender Genesis went bankrupt in 2023 as it had lent money to collapse crypto firm Three Arrows Capital and other firms during the bear market and crypto contagion that spread across the industry in 2022. DCG stepped in with capital to help repay Genesis customers. But in Thursday's lawsuit, DCG argued that due to a rise in the value of recovered collateral from Three Arrows Capital, its obligations under the promissory note have been reduced to zero. This, the lawsuit states, is because the assets from Three Arrows Capital were in Bitcoin and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares that have shot up in value since 2022. Genesis ultimately suffered no loss from TAC's default. Rather, Genesis has profited by hundreds of millions of dollars which Genesis is entitled to keep, the lawsuit said. It added, because of the significant appreciation in cryptocurrency values since the petition date, this has resulted in recoveries that exceed the dollar value of the creditor's claims as of the petition date. Genesis was a crypto lender run by crypto behemoth DCG. It allowed users to earn cash on their crypto holdings by allowing them to be loaned out to others. Genesis made billions of dollars in loans to beleaguered crypto firms like Three Arrows Capital in the FTX-linked Alameda research, which were about to default on their debt due to market contagion stemming from the collapse of Terra. When mega digital asset brand FTX collapsed, Genesis announced to clients that it would pause withdrawals from its lending arm due to the unprecedented market turmoil. DCG took extraordinary efforts to voluntarily support Genesis in 2022, including by issuing a promissory note to Genesis to help close a potential book equity gap resulting from the collapse of Three Arrows Capital. A DCG spokesperson told Decrypt on Friday, "We have consistently met our contractual obligations under that note, but believe those have now been fully satisfied. We are simply asking the court to confirm that the valid and binding obligation was fully satisfied." Thursday's lawsuit comes after Genesis in May sued DCG, alleging that its parent company and CEO Barry Silbert made fraudulent transfers from the lender as it was collapsing in 2022. It's seeking $3.1 billion in damages. Coinbase lost about $300,000 in token fees after mistakenly approving assets to a 0x project smart contract, allowing a maximal extractable value MEV bot to drain the funds. DBs, a security researcher at Venn Network, flagged the incident in a Wednesday post on X. He said Coinbase's corporate wallet interacted with 0x's swapper contract, a permissionless tool designed to execute swaps but not to receive token approvals, since anyone can call the contract to perform arbitrary actions. Granting approvals can expose assets to immediate theft. This same swapper is known to have had issues with Zora claims on Base, the researcher wrote, linking to past cases where the setup enabled malicious actors to extract funds without exploiting code V vulnerabilities. Screenshots shared by DBs showed Coinbase granting approvals for tokens including AMP, Mine Protocol, Dextools, and Swell Network on Wednesday afternoon. Soon after, a MEVBot called the swapper contract to transfer the approved tokens from Coinbase's fee receiver account into its addresses. DB said the MEV bot that drained funds from Coinbase had been lurking in the dark, waiting for users to mistakenly approve the contract to drain all their funds. Their dream came true thanks to Coinbase, the researcher wrote. The researcher added that the incident, which drained the Coinbase fee receiver account of all its tokens, was an expensive lesson for the team. Coinbase Chief Security Officer Philip Martin confirmed the incident, describing it as an isolated issue linked to a configuration change in one of the exchange's corporate DEX wallets. No customer funds were affected, Martin said,
adding that Coinbase revoked the token allowances and moved remaining funds to a new corporate wallet. In April, a MEV bot lost $180,000 in ETH after an attacker exploited a vulnerability in its access control system. The attacker reportedly swapped the bot's ETH for a worthless token via a malicious pool created within the same transaction. In a similar incident in 2023, a rogue validator exploited MEVBot's attempting sandwich trades, stealing $25 million in digital assets, including WBTC. Disclaimer: please note that cryptocurrency prices can be highly volatile, and this information is intended for educational purposes only. It should not be considered financial or investment advice. Always conduct your own research before making investment decisions. The content and materials featured on this page are for educational purposes only. Buy Crypto is committed to providing unbiased and transparent reporting. This video aims to deliver accurate and timely information but should not be taken as financial or investment advice. Since market conditions can change rapidly, we encourage you to verify information on your own and consult with a professional before making any decisions based on this content. The information provided in this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as, financial advice. We do not make any warranties regarding the completeness, reliability, or accuracy of this information. All investments involve risk, and past performance does not guarantee future results. We recommend consulting a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.